The Supreme Court holds court at USF. We find out about the new Dean of Students. We take a closer look at duck hunting in Sioux Falls. A comedian stopped at USF, and it's Augie Week.
All this and more coming up next on College Week.
From the McDonald Center on the campus of the University of Sioux Falls, this is College Week with Dylan Dwyer, Irene Samaniego, and Sports with Seth Cordy.
Good morning and welcome to a whole new College Week. I'm Irene Samaniego.
And I'm Simon Floss. Thanks for joining us.
So Simon, I think this was one of the craziest weeks ever at USF. We have security everywhere, metal detectors.
All over the place. Supreme Court was here. It was crazy.
It was crazy.
You want to tell us more about it?
Yeah, of course. This past week, the South Dakota Supreme Court held their October term at the University of Sioux Falls. The court heard a total of 9 arguments with 3 cases each morning. The cases took place in the Jeske Fine Arts Center and started with the first hearing at 9, followed by another one at 10, and finishing the day at 11. The court was open to the public and allowed many students from both the college and high school level.
The University of Sioux Falls has a new Dean of Students. Evan Gentry has more on the story.
With a new year comes a new Dean of Students. The students here at USF tip their hats and say "I do" to Casey Miley, the former dean, as he moves on to the position of athletic director at Roosevelt High School. Ross came to us from down the road in Texas. He tells us the story of how he ended up here at Sioux Falls.
The University of Sioux Falls went through a national search process, and I applied, like I'm sure dozens of other folks did. Went through the process, interviewed on campus, talked with students, talked with faculty and staff, and whittled it down and was selected in August.
Ross has been in office since August 1st and has enjoyed his time thoroughly as the Dean of Students.
We have amazing students at USF who really want to learn a lot, who I've engaged on a spiritual level, many students.
USF hopes that Corey Ross will help advance the school and the students for the betterment of the community here at USF. For College Week, I'm Evan Gentry.
As the temperatures change in South Dakota, so do the seasons this fall. The state of South Dakota has implemented a new experimental expanded bag limit for duck hunters. In addition to the normal 6 per daily limit, South Dakota waterfowl hunters are also allowed 2 additional blue-winged teal during the first 2 weeks of the season. Teal are the smallest members of the North American duck family. Both blue-winged and gray-winged teal are found throughout the state, but an increase in the blue-winged variety has given the South Dakota Game, Fish and Parks Department calls for a more focused management for the little birds. The expanded limits may go a long way to encourage both avid waterfowls and the casual weekend outdoorsmen to get out and enjoy a new opportunity.
I think it's definitely an encouragement to, to get hunters out there, to have, I guess, a little incentive to go out early. I know that, hunting's not always as good. The first few weeks, it's not, birds aren't always moving. Those northern flocks aren't coming down because it's not cold enough yet, and things like that. But I definitely think it's kind of a cool incentive to get people out earlier.
Many states throughout the southern United States already offer early season teal-only seasons. South Dakota's new experimental bag limit is the first of its kind in the state.
As the highest-rated comedian in Campus Activities magazine and the winner of the 2012 Fastest Rising Star Award, Adam Grabowski made history in 2013 by becoming the youngest comedian ever to win the Comedian of the Year. He performed at the University of Sioux Falls this week, and Jeb Cooper was able to sit down with him and get an exclusive interview. To watch the entire interview, go to www.usfcollegeweek.com. And here's Tanner Wangsness with this week's pop quiz question.
Good luck!
Hi, I'm Tanner Wangsness, and in the spirit of fall, here's this week's pop quiz question. This week's question is, how many apples does it take to make 1 gallon of apple cider? A, 12, B, 36, C, 47, or D, 53?
That Tanner Wangsness is one tough cookie to crack. I mean, what do you think that
Apple
is?
cider? I've never made apple cider in my life.
I'm gonna guess 53. I think that was D, just because that's the biggest number, and I like apple cider that has a lot of apple taste. What do you think it is?
I think it was B for sure. No way.
Well, let's find out.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome back. Did you guess the answer to this week's pop quiz question? Was it A, 12, B, 36, C, 47, or D, 53? Well, if you guessed B, you're spot on. If apple cider is your favorite beverage like it is mine, you'll be interested to learn that it was very important to early Americans, so much that by the time of the American Revolution, 1 in every 10 farms in New England had their very own cider mill. And in 1904, National Apple Week began, which has been superseded by National Apple Month, which is October. Bet you didn't know that.
Coming up next is Java Talk with Jeb Cooper.
We'll be right back.
Welcome to Java Talk. My name's Jeb Cooper, and today we're going to be talking to Karina Spangler, a sophomore here at USF, about her relationship with Inga Orenbacher, a Holocaust survivor speaker who was here at USF just a couple weeks ago. Inga, thanks for being here, Karina. Tell us a little about your relationship with Inga.
Inga Auerbacher is a friend of mine, and we met 7 years ago while she was speaking at a local library from Ohio, which is where I'm originally from.
Okay.
She was telling her story about how she survived the Holocaust and what camp she was in, and a little bit about her family life beforehand. She was selling books and signing them and offering pictures, and I was standing in line to get mine. When it was my turn, I knelt beside her, looked up at her, and said, "We're going to be friends." And was rather determined to stay in touch, and we started a pen pal relationship that we continue today.
Okay, that's amazing. And so you talk every day, every couple of days? How often is it?
Every few days,
Okay.
mostly through cards, letters, phone calls, Facebook, emails, anything.
Very nice, very nice. And how old were you when you first met her?
I was 13.
13, okay. So was it hearing her speak at such a young age, did that give you a bigger impact on the situation, do you think?
I originally heard the word Holocaust when I was 10 years old, but I didn't know what it was, so I went to Google. And I saw images that really disturbed me, and I wanted to know more. When a 10-year-old skips 3 meals, Mom gets concerned. But she very wisely told me, you're mature, you're going to learn about it anyway, so just take care of yourself. And then when I found out that Inga was going to be speaking, I had to go. So I already knew what the Holocaust was and what had happened, but definitely hearing someone who'd been through it made a much bigger impact, I would say.
Yeah. And coming from Ohio, how did you end up here at the University of Sioux Falls?
Well, it's definitely a God thing. This was not my first choice.
Okay.
I got the acceptance letter, and I'm like, where in the world is Sioux Falls? I didn't even know how to say it. I was accepted to Hillsdale College in Michigan.
Okay.
I was rejected, and then I found out that I got accepted here, and there were scholarships, there were internships, and jobs, and it just all worked out, and I'm very glad to be here.
Wonderful. And did you go to the speech while Inga was here at USF?
Yes, I did.
And could you kind of tell us a little bit about what she spoke on for the people who weren't able to make it?
She spoke more of her life before the war and during. She was only 7 years old when she was sent to the camp. She was there until she was 10. The amazing part about her story is she's an only child, but both of her parents and herself went into the camp together and they came out together.
And that usually doesn't happen.
No.
It didn't happen, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, that's great that they all made it out together.
Mm-hmm.
And do you have anything you think Inga would like the viewers to know?
I know that she always talks about how her hope is that every child will grow up in peace without prejudice and hunger. So I think that's something that I would like to add.
Yeah. Well, I think that's all the questions we have. Thanks for joining us today.
No problem. Thank you.
And next up, we have sports.
And now a look at sports with Dylan Dwyer and Paige Peterson.
Thanks, Irene. So Paige, I know you know this is a big week.
Of course, Augie Week.
I can't wait for this week's Augie Week because right now we're 2-0 against Augustana. One of the things that USF football has started to do this year, which is pretty cool, I think, is they've done a thing with the new jerseys. So why don't you tell us a little bit about those?
Of course. With October being Breast Cancer Awareness Month, USF and Susan G. Coleman of South Dakota are collaborating on a campaign to fight breast cancer. As a part of that effort, the USF football team wore pink numbered uniforms at the homecoming game on Saturday night at Bob Young Field. Fans had the chance to bid on those USF game jerseys in an online auction.
Last week in the homecoming game, the offense was able to put up huge numbers again, and the defense once again did its work, limiting the Golden Bears to 9 points and 249 total yards while forcing 3 fumbles. The final score was USF 38, Concordia St. Paul 9. The number 20th ranked University of Sioux Falls football team will look to extend their record to 6-0 when they face crosstown rival Augustana in the Key to the City game at 1 p.m. on Saturday at Kirkaby Over Stadium in Sioux Falls. USF has won both of the previous 2 battles for the Key, winning 32-31 at Kirkaby Over Stadium 2 years ago and taking a 27-10 win over the Vikings a year ago at Bob Young Field.
Right behind Bob Young Field is where the USF women play soccer, and they recently recorded an impressive win.
Jackie Montez's 88th minute goal broke a tie and gave the University of Sioux Falls soccer team their first win of the season with a 3-2 victory at St. Cloud State on Sunday afternoon. The Cougars now come home after a 4-game road swing with a 1-8 and 1 overall record, including a 1-6 record in the Northern Sun Intercollegiate Conference play. It may not be baseball season just yet, but the USF baseball team is already hard at work. I got a chance to catch up with them at their field. It may be October, but the University of Sioux Falls baseball team is out on the diamond preparing for the season. There are many new freshmen, including Tanner Olthoff. Olthoff says his lifestyle is different now that he is playing college baseball.
It's been really busy, been having a lot of baseball, a lot of school, barely any free time.
College athletics aren't easy, but Olthoff is keeping a positive attitude.
They've been long, but I've been finding myself busy most of the time, getting in enough work, and then putting some work in on the side, in the cages and whatnot.
The Cougars have leadership returning to the team, and Henry Ojeda leads the pitching staff. Ojeda says the team has a lot to work on.
In my opinion, we need a lot to work on, but at the same time, we're getting everything on track by learning plays, like our bunt coverages for sure, our picks to second from the pitcher. Those things affected us last year, so that's where we start.
Ojeda says the competition between players is great for the team.
Yeah, there's a lot of numbers this year compared to last year, where there was probably 30 guys on the team as opposed to 45, 50 this year. And there's a lot more competition and a lot more spots to fill out this year.
USF has a scrimmage on Friday against Augustana, and Ojeda says the Cougars have a few goals.
Our goal as a team to accomplish is for the pitchers to throw strikes and get outs, and for the hitters to pretty much smack around Augie pitchers.
For USF College Week, I'm Dylan Dwyer.
And that's all we have for sports. Back to you guys.
Although the College Week show is over, I'm actually more excited about this weekend. You know what this weekend is?
Augustana goes down against USF.
Exactly, and we get to keep the key to the city.
For the 3rd straight year.
For the first year. So have a look at this game, and I'll see you next week. I'm Irene Samaniego.
And I'm Simon Floss. Have a great week.
But you were going to be doggy.
Well.